It is time. It's time to stop hiding. It's time to stand up. It's time for Christians to come together to share their testimony, to inspire hope, and to join our brothers and sisters as we answer the call. It's time to wake up the lions. Folks, welcome to Wake Up the Lions, the podcast. My name is Rory Paquette. I am, as always, your incredibly grateful host. So happy to be here today, spreading this message and helping you spread yours. I wanted to do a quick, just solo episode, folks, talking about our podcast, our mission, our purpose, what we're doing here. And today, if you take nothing else away from this episode, I want you to understand the power that you have as one, as one follower, as one believer, the power that He has given you in your life. And I want you to come to grips with that. I want you to come to terms with it. I want you to understand how important you are to the world, to this movement, to God. It's a lot of us don't get it. So let's talk about it a little bit. First, let's for those of you who have recently tuned into the podcast and maybe unclear about what it is we're doing here, folks, there's a war coming. There is a war coming, and at some point we all have to choose a side. And I and a lot of others are choosing the side of God, of Christianity, and we're saying, look, this is who we are. That doesn't mean that we're against somebody else. It doesn't mean that we're anti whatever you might be. But the fact of the matter is that for years now, Christians have just put their heads down and been persecuted. We've allowed it to happen. We've simply said, hey, it doesn't matter. I'll take the beating. I don't want to offend anyone. Folks, when I have countless people coming on my podcasts, and I mean countless people coming on my various podcasts. And one of the first questions they have to ask me is it okay to talk about God here? Is this a safe place to talk about faith? Folks, you should never have to ask that question. Anyone, anywhere, no matter what their faith is, should be able to talk about it without fear of persecution, without fear of reprisal. And in the world we live in today, that simply is not the case. And that is what we are advocating for above all else, is for people to stand up and be counted, to stand up and have that that understanding of who we are, and to have the fortitude to simply say, look, I may catch some grief for this, but this is who I am. We want you to understand that you matter, because there is a battle coming. And in the end, every soul matters, including yours. And for too long, we have said, well, we don't matter. Everyone else does. Those people do, but I don't. And it's enough is enough. So that's part of what we're doing here, is encouraging people to stand up and be counted. And the other thing that we're doing here is we're giving people a chance to share their testimony, to inspire other people and say, listen, this is what happened to me. This is what I went through. This is how I got through it. And this is how I got through it with, God's love, with the help of Jesus. This is important to be able to tell those stories, so that when people are out there and they're hearing these, they may be feeling the same way, but they're just a little afraid to speak up about it. They're a little afraid to put that name to it. And maybe they want to call it the universe, or quantum physics or something else. And maybe you want to call it God. But the fact of the matter is no matter what you're doing and no matter what you believe, you should be able to believe it. And nobody should ever make you feel less than because you do. So I hope that we're going to have more and more folks who will come along and wake up. The final thing that we do with this podcast, folks, is we work on building discipleships. And that leads us to the point for today, which is the power of one, the power of one belief, the power of one believer, the power of one voice, the power that you have, that He has given you, that you do not realize you have. So let's talk specifics for a minute, because anybody can sit here and say, you have power, feel good, charge off into the wild blue yonder and represent. Well, that's great, but what does that all mean, and how do I go about doing that, right? The fact of the matter is that you do, and I'm about to show you how. I want you to think of any room in your home, Any room, living room, dining room, your bedroom. I don't care, whatever. I want you to imagine that you're in there and that you're in there with 10 people. No, if you live in a big house, maybe that's no big deal. Maybe 10 people fit right in the corner nook of your family room with the vaulted ceiling. Maybe 10 people take up your entire dining room. But just picture yourself for a moment sitting there having a conversation with 10 people. All right. However that feels, however that looks, I want you to really feel that. I want you to own that. I want you to understand it. Picture it hard. Picture which 10 people, maybe. Maybe it's, my two sons, my daughter, my wife. I mean, now I'm their significant others. Now I'm talking to seven people. I don't have too many too many more to go in my life because I can just go through, my immediate family. Um, but imagine who they are, right? These are the folks you're sitting there, you're having a conversation with. Now, I want you to picture the room. I want you to picture these people. And I want you to imagine that every single one of them went out and talked to 10 different people. And out of those 10 people that they talked to, one of them decided they were going to come along with them to listen to you speak, to sit in that room. Each of them talked to 10 people, and only one decided to come with them, right? They may view that as a failure. You might view that as a failure. Wow, out of 10 people, only one decided to listen. But imagine that one listened. Now go back to that room that you're in. You're in there with those 10 people, and you're in there with the 10 people that decided to follow them, that decided to listen. Now imagine the exact same room with the exact same people, and now you're in there with 20 people. How's that room feel? How has that dynamic changed? How much more crowded is that? And that happens if everyone only brings one person with them. Think about that power. Think about how strong that is for all of us. If you share your testimony, if you talk about how God has influenced your life, if you go out and talk to 10 people and you say to all 10 of them, listen, you can believe what you believe, and I totally respect it. I'm not trying to change your mind. All I'm trying to do is share mine and give you another option. And if you're interested, I'd love to talk to you more. I'd love to bring you to this meeting, where I'm going to talk to this guy, Rory. I'd love you to listen to this podcast. Imagine if you went out and talked to 10 people. It only takes one of them to listen to change the entire room. Now imagine if they went out and told 10 people and only one listened. And now you're in a room with 30 people. How fast did that grow? What did it really take? Did you have to run huge advertising ads and have some major league budget? Did you have to, post all over social media and spend your whole life creating content? No. You had to go out and you had to have 10 conversations. You had to go out and speak the word of God to 10 people. That's all you had to do. And look at how that room has changed again. And it goes on, and it goes on, and it goes on. We underestimate the power of one. We talk all the time about the power of one vote. I mean, look at the last several elections. How important was every single vote, right? Look at your life. Look at the world around us. Look at the evil that has taken root openly, audaciously, right there in front of us. It's not even hiding anymore. It's just coming out and saying, here I am. Folks, if evil's going to stand in front of you and proclaim itself and say, I am evil, here I am, the only thing that you have to do to combat that is to do the exact same thing. Stand up and tell people, I'm a Christian. I believe in God. I've let Jesus into my life. And I trust him. Nice to meet you, evil. I believe in God. That's all it takes. And when people see you do it, many of them will be inspired to do the same. Many of them will no longer be afraid to do the same. Many of them will stand up and not only do the same themselves, but will do what you did and will start telling other people. This is the movement. This is this ministry. Folks, I'm telling you, you have the power. You have more power than you can imagine because he's given that to you. And all you have to do is open up your hands, open your arms, open your minds and your hearts, and accept it. And say, yes, I believe. And I'm going to tell people that I believe. I'm going to own who I am. Am I going to get canceled here or there? Sure. Am I going to have some hate on a Facebook post on occasion? Sure. Well, I have people say, well, if that's how you feel, then you're spreading hate and you're a bigot and everything else. In your heart, you know that's simply not true. And they're the ones with the problem. Now, folks, it's easy. Many people have said this to me. Hey, it's easy for you to sit there and say this, right? You're just doing a podcast. You can say whatever you want. You can throw it out there. Folks, I've been podcasting for over 5 years now. I've done multiple shows. Several have worked incredibly well. But because of my topics and because of my belief system and because of my absolute willingness from moment one to stand up for what it was I believed in, I have taken a world of hate. I have had 3 different death threats. Because I believe what I believe. So I do get it. I understand the hesitancy. I understand that at every single stopping point, we're going to have people walk up and go, hey, listen, I love your message, but could you just tone down the God thing just a little bit? The God thing? No, I won't. Not I can't, but I won't tone down the God thing. We've been doing that for years, and we're not going to do it anymore. I'm not going to give away my power that he gave to me to speak his word, to spread my love of Jesus. Absolutely not. I'm not giving that away. I'm not toning that down. And I'm going to tell you why I'm not toning it down. Because this is a two-way street that we're on, folks. And although you may believe that you know God, we all have to ask ourselves the question every single day, does God know you? When you tone down the God thing, what message are you sending? That I don't really believe? Are you saying, well, I'm a believer when it's okay to be a believer? Aren't you really betraying him? Aren't you really denying him? When the time comes and you're standing there at those gates, I mean, do you want to hear, well done, my good and faithful servant? Or do you want to hear, I don't know you? This is real talk. If you're a believer, then this is absolutely real talk. And I'm not trying to scare anybody. I'm trying to point out what I believe to be the obvious, and yet what so many of us have taken so long to try to see. And I was one of them. Because believe me, I thought it was totally fine to just tone down the God thing for a little while. I didn't want to offend anybody. I wanted my podcast to get out there, And so at the beginning of, my biggest podcast that I run, Power of Man, I toned it down. And I said, hey, it's totally fine. Listen, I'm not trying to push my faith on anybody, and I'm still not. But I pandered at the very beginning. And it did not take me long to say, you know what? What am I doing? Now I have the luxury of being able to listen back to my own words because of what I do. If most of us had the chance to hear a recording back of our own words all the time, I think we would hear ourselves saying some ridiculous things. Like, sure, I'll tone down the God thing. Folks, you have so much power. And whenever somebody asks you to tone it down, it's because they recognize the power you have. And they're perfectly willing to let you stand up there and deliver a little message or something, but they're not going to let you use that power to change somebody's mind. They're not going to let you use that power to rally the forces. They are most certainly not going to allow you to use your voice, to use your testimony, and to use your power that you have to wake up the lions. Because let me tell you something. When the lions finally wake up, it's over. It's game over. You see, evil cannot beat the lions of God. Evil cannot beat the army that's wearing the armor of God. The only thing it can do is hope that the army and the lions don't show up, that they stay silent, that they grossly outnumber them because the lions have been sleeping and the army has decided to tone down the God thing. You have the power. You don't need to go find it. You don't need to go get it. You have it. All you have to do is accept it, embrace it, and use it. And that is my message for you today. That is the message that I hope you take from this entire podcast, from every single episode. You matter so much. You have so much value. You are integral in this fight. You're necessary and you're needed. Folks, it's time. It's time to wake up the lions. More than that, it's time for you to take your rightful place with your brothers and sisters and let them hear you roar. The world is ready, and so are you. Believe it.